Hey everyone, Lisa Salvatore here with the Energy Astrology Report for the week ahead, February 6th through February 13th. I'm actually recording this video on Saturday, February 5th. Probably going to get this out early because I'm going to be not able to do this tomorrow. However, there's no coincidence to the timing of this because today is definitely an interesting day and we could feel like we are in a pressure cooker and we're being squeezed for something. And our swords are drawn, not literally, but we can be feeling very combative and defensive today. And, I mentioned this in last week's energy report that as we got towards the end of this week and into the weekend, things were going to start to, get a little edgy. We might feel that edge. And so, that's where we're at today. The moon is currently in Aries. As I record this, actually, the moon in Aries is sandwiched between Chiron and Eris, both in Aries. Chiron is actually squaring off with Mars in Capricorn. And so what this does is it brings up our feelings of where we feel like we've fallen short, or where we feel like we've been victimized, or where we feel like we've been misunderstood, or where we have not protected ourselves or protected our space, and feeling just very defensive about it. And things are coming up, things are being brought up for us. And so you may find that if you're in a conversation with someone today or someone's, that you're just extra tense and extra edgy and ready to go, and so just be a little more mindful of that. Mercury has just stationed direct on February 3rd. So yes, all planets are currently in forward motion, but Mercury is still in shadow until the end of February. So we're still under that feeling of it's not quite like boom, we're good to go. And so just know that if you are feeling a little extra edgy today, that's likely also going to carry on into tomorrow. This moon in Aries can be impulsive and it can just bring things up, especially because we're dealing with Chiron and Aries squaring Mars, and Mars wants us to fight for ourselves. Mars in Capricorn's like, fight for yourself, be your own agent, be your own guru, all that good stuff, and be your own authority, most importantly. And yes, that's all fine and good and well and great. However, the way the energy is right now, it is possible to have conversations and situations go left very quickly. When you're trying to voice your opinion or assert your opinion or have your voice heard, everyone else is feeling this too. So there's definitely an edge to the energy. So I just want to mention that first. And now as we move into tomorrow, February 6th, and we start the next week off, we've got that moon in Aries still to start the day off. And that moon in Aries is going to come up against Mercury and Pluto, both in Capricorn. So that moon in Aries will square off with Mercury and Pluto. Now, Mercury and Pluto, by themselves conjuncting each other, bring in this element of depth and intensity and heat to all of our communications, right? Because it's Mercury and it's Pluto. And now we've got the moon in Aries squaring off with that Mercury-Pluto conjunction. So again, this just might say, yes, there could be things being revealed, and they could be very positive, and they could be things that are needed and necessary to move you forward. So this could be information that you want and information that you're hoping to receive. However, because we're dealing with Aries and we're dealing with Capricorn energy here, it could also be done very quickly, very impulsively, and in a very hasty manner that makes you feel really pissed off. So again, like I said, today, tomorrow, Sunday, just be more mindful, especially if you're feeling edgier than normal and you don't really understand why. This is why. I would encourage you to bring it back to the source, bring it back to your little self, your inner child, and ask yourself, what about this is really bothering me? What's under this? What's the layer underneath? Is this really because this person disagrees with me, or is it more because I feel that no one hears me? Think about it a little deeper before you pop off. It might help you, okay? Now, later on in the evening, tomorrow the 6th, that moon's going to enter Taurus. So hopefully that will steady things out a little bit, as the moon always loves to be in cozy Taurus. And then as we move into Monday, the 7th, that moon in Taurus will make a nice aspect with Jupiter in Pisces. It's also going to meet up with Uranus in Taurus, and it's going to trine Venus in Capricorn. And so again, this can be a day of really good ideas. You're just feeling a lot less edgy, more than likely, than you were feeling in the previous days. And the moon is also trining Mars in Capricorn, so that's a lot less, yes, we're still going to assert ourselves, and yes, we still want to assert ourselves and fight for ourselves and fight for what's ours, and that's wonderful. But because it's a nice aspect, it's not going to feel as intense as it will likely have felt in the previous days. And then as we move throughout the week, there's this momentum that picks up, and we want to take action, and we have new ideas and new ways that we would like to take action. And then we get to February 8th, and early in the morning on the 8th, that moon in Taurus is going to bump up against Saturn in Aquarius. It's also going to line up with Neptune in Pisces, and it's going to trine both Mercury and Pluto. So this is sort of like a bittersweet deal, but I really feel like this could be, again, I'm going to emphasize the dream space. I know I've been talking a lot about the dream space these past few weeks, but I know that, you know, for those that are not normally vivid dreamers, or they don't remember their dreams, you're likely going to find that these past few weeks, or I would even argue the past few months, have been very pronounced and had you dreaming much more vividly, much more colorfully. Even if they were scattered and didn't always make sense, there was a message in there somewhere for you. And so I really feel that this week, especially early into the morning of the 8th and the 9th, pay really close attention to what is brought into you in your dream, through your dream space, whether it's an animal that just appears, a name that you hear, a color, anything, because there's potential for your dream space to be bringing up something that might be blocking you, something that might be literally holding you back in your waking life. And so this could be very constructive, okay? Remember, we're dealing with the moon in Taurus, squaring off with Saturn in Aquarius, and then it's going to be in a nice aspect with Neptune in Pisces, which is so intuitive and so dreamy, and also with the trine to Mercury and Pluto. Again, there's deep information that's coming up, deep information coming out. So pay really close attention to the dream space, and if you don't keep a dream journal, or even just, you know, jotting it, doing a note on your phone when you wake up so that you remember, and always going back to look at, you know, what does this mean? And then we get to February 9th, which is also my sister's birthday. Happy birthday to her. And early in the morning of the 9th, the moon will enter chatty, communicative Gemini. But then the moon is going to go void, of course. And so basically what that means is that for a certain amount of time, that moon's not really answering to anyone or anything. And so, you know, the moon rules over the emotional tone and the energy. So, you know, it could feel, you know, it's Gemini, so it could feel like a little scattered, a little wild, a little more talkative than normal, also scattered. So you may find that that's the day you lose your keys. You know, you can't find your keys on your way to work, or, you know, your glasses are on your head and you're looking for them. You know, it could be that kind of an energy. It's nothing crazy, nothing negative. It's just a little more wild. So I would even say a little more extra caution while you're driving, because everybody is likely going to be feeling more tired or wired, or both. It's Gemini. It's two. And then as we move throughout the week and we get towards the weekend, Friday and Saturday, especially on the 11th, Mercury is going to meet up with Pluto for the third and final time. Mercury met up with Pluto back in December and also again in January. So we've been under this Mercury-Pluto theme, and Mercury also was retrograde in that mix. So again, there's been this intensity to our communications, and there have been things that have been coming up from the trenches for us to think about and maybe speak about in some cases. And they may not have felt comfortable. Now, this energy of Mercury and Pluto brings in obsession, it brings in intensity, and it brings in passion to all of our communications and the way that we think and the way that we are speaking, our, you know, giving out our information, also the way we're taking it in. It all feels very intense, and that's going to be the energy of this whole week, and especially as we get into the weekend. The weekends seem like they've been very edgy lately. They've definitely been feeling very edgy. But as always, when we're dealing with Pluto, there's some deep healing that can also take place, some cathartic change, necessary change, and some really good conversations, really strong energy can come out of it, really strong solutions can come out of it. So it's not necessarily positive or negative, it just is what it is, and it's intense. It's not lighthearted, and it's not superficial, that's for sure. And then the evening of the 11th, the moon will shift into sensitive Cancer, and then on the 12th, the moon will meet up with Jupiter nicely, and it will also be meeting up nicely with Uranus, and it's going to be opposite Mars. So again, you know, this is that push-pull energy, and we could definitely feel that tug of war about wanting to act and holding back, or maybe even wanting to react and holding back. Now, also on February 12th, there is a really interesting alignment that's going to start to take place between Mars and Venus, okay? The two relational planets, okay? The planet's about connection, the planet's about how we do relationships. They're going to start to do this dance with each other, and I'm going to have a separate video about that posted shortly, but that will start on February 12th as well. So again, it's right in time for Valentine's Day. We're going to feel our blood pumping up when it comes to the relationships in our lives, all of them, all forms of connection. And basically anything that is keeping us outdated or stuck will really begin to become that much more emphasized. So if you've been coasting in specific situations in your life for quite some time, you may really start to feel the heat around now. But again, we'll go more into that. I'm going to put out a separate video. But that Mars-Venus alignment in Capricorn is actually going to start on the 12th of February. And then we end our week off on yeah, right there, Saturday the 12th. See, I'm just gonna keep going and going and going. Let's get a card for the week ahead. We got the Seven of Cups. Okay, so, you know, this is all about confusion. It's about options. It's about emotional, you know, which way do I go? What should I do? You know, cups are all about our emotional space. And again, this is going to be a pretty emotional week, and we're going to probably feel like there's a lot of different things coming at us, and we don't really know which way to go or what direction to take or what we want to do. And so, you know, pause, stop, reevaluate, reassess. That's what the seven is about. Taking stock of how far you've come. Take a rest where you need to, if you need to recuperate for a little bit, because the intensity is not really going down anytime soon, right? Take really good care of yourselves. I will have that the Mars-Venus video posted shortly, and I will be back next week with the following week's energy report. Be sure to sign up for my newsletter, lisasalvatore.com, and also my YouTube is Lisa Salvatore. Take care. Bye.